Shabbat Shalom and greetings to you all. I've been trying to find somewhere else to record these so that you don't see all these boxes behind me, and I'm working on it. Anyhow, I hope you all enjoyed last week's preordained story. And we all know asses who have an awful lot to say, but most are not as worth listening to as Balaams. Now we're almost at the end of the book of Numbers, which at one point would have actually been the conclusion of the Torah, as it ends with the people poised to enter the Promised Land. And there's something magical about that. It's a metaphor for life. When we often see what we have reached for, it's still just out of reach. There's still more for us to do in order to get there. And friends, there is still more for us to do, even if it's just to help others that are still on the road. And it is the angels in our lives, those whose job it is to help those on the road. On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends. I can't wait to get on the road again. But the Torah doesn't end with this book, because we have the mysterious fifth book, the book of Deuteronomy, the retelling. So we still never see the people actually get to where they're going. Now that's a book that was lost for several hundred years, and was, as its name suggested, just a retelling of the law. In Hebrew, it was also known as simply the small Torah, the small instructions. Now, when we read it, you'll see. It could have been one of the books to be written by a king, as we find out that's what the instructions were. Or perhaps it's the one true book of Moses. We don't know, and we never will. We're each on our own individual journey to our own Promised Land. And although we're all different, there's still the one thing that makes us the same, and that's our need and desire to come together as a group. Because we honor and pray individually, but we observe as a community. Even though we are individual, there's safety in numbers. There's a sense of camaraderie, a collective consciousness when we come together as seekers showing faith. Any and all faith that can come together. Love, any and all love. It is a true fellowship, a chavura. Expressing our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes. It just unites us all in this community, house of spirit, Beth Ruach, house of spirit. Sharing and bringing light, keeping fear at bay, and even though together, we're individual in our approach. Each connecting to his or her or their own way. So once again, please do go ahead. Invite everybody you know. Some physically, some digitally, psychically, emotionally, spiritually. Whatever way you want. Have people come and gather and share from Psalm 133, the Hine Matov. Hine Matov. Shevet Achim Hine Matov. Shevet Achim. How good, how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. Community together. We support each other in this community, my friends. Let's all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the world. Remember, this is you setting aside just a little bit of sacred time in your own sacred space to honor and converse with whoever, whatever you happen to believe in, because we all believe in something. Part of your kavanah, your intention that you put out to the universe, it's your goodwill. Goodwill and intention are the roots of what you can control, what you can correct. Your intention sets in motion everything that occurs in your lives, my friends. Let's take some time now. Let's use that intention. Send some of that goodwill, some light, some healing out to everyone that needs it. Healing and renewal for everyone. Float through space, finding those in need. So send it out for those you know and for the souls and spirits of everyone you love. So think of whoever that needs healing and renewal and love or just plain goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. It's not just for people. It's for our pets. It's for the earth. It's the healing of the world. It's the tikkun olam that's part of our spiritual genetic makeup. We have to help heal the world. It's not something we complete. It's an ongoing task to be dealt with in this lifetime, in every lifetime. We must each do our part. We must each do what we can to improve and change our own little corner of the universe, because as we change ourselves, we change the conditions of life, and we constantly are changing, refining. It's whether we understand or are understood, that can get in the way. Right? It's about our ability to send out goodwill and make changes, and to incorporate these changes in our lives. A part of the healing of the world is when we send thoughts and energy for health and renewal and goodwill for everyone. It's not just for ourselves. They don't have to be sick. It's for those in our hearts and our minds. Let's all send energy out for the people in need everywhere. And special thoughts and prayers for Fern, beautiful soul, always there to help. We send prayers for Shelley. May she have a quick recovery. For Lisa, for Maria, for Jerry, Bernie, for Luke and Kay, for dear Doria, Aurelia, for Mary and Bill, for David and Mookie, for Shoshi and the Builder, for all those suffering and in need everywhere, my friends. Let's not forget to include the familiars of our lives, all of our sacred animal friends everywhere, for everyone you know who's in need, for the whole world, for Rosemary. Friends, it is the kindness, the healing wishes, the goodwill and love we all send out. It just circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world is a world of spirit, and spirit, my friends, never dies. Me, Shabbat, Avotain, Makor HaBracha, Nimotain. May the souls look straight. Bless the one that's before us. Help us find the courage. Make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body. The renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Misha Barak, let us all have our spirits renewed. This is the great prayer for healing, my friends, in which we call upon God to heal as He's healed before. Me, Shabarach, may He who blessed, because all healing's a blessing. Let's all send and receive healing and renewal energy in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. Now, last week we didn't have a clean ending to the Parsha. That's always due to strange editing and story structure. Don't forget the breaks in the Torah came hundreds of years after its writing, and it's a guess as to where breaks should take place. Now, we've broken it down into 54 pieces, read over the course of a year. But during the period that we often talk about, it was read only once every 7 years. So last week we had the great Balaam episode. And instead of getting to enjoy it, we go right into the beginning of this week's reading. An Israelite man and Egyptian woman went into the tent of meeting and were engaged in forbidden sexual acts which did not please God. So He sent a plague to kill the people. And Pinchas, son of Eleazar, and therefore grandson of Aaron, took it upon himself to kill the couple. Now, the description's quite good. The choice of words is inspiring. To think this was a humorless book is a grave error. Numbers 25:7. And Pinchas, son of Eleazar, son of Aaron, the priest, saw. He got up from among the congregation and took a spear in his hand. He came after the Israelite man to the enclosure and ran the two of them through, the Israelite man and the woman, to her stomach. And the plague was halted from the children of Israel. Now, this is actually the famous red tent, which has been talked about before and which we'll speak of again, and which has been the subject of films, TV shows, and books. It is connected with women and with the color red. Now, it is the kubah in Hebrew, and it was a tent used to house sacred objects. And like the biblical tabernacle, it was made of red leather. And since the episode begins precisely at the entrance to the tabernacle, the tent of meeting, it would certainly appear that the kubah here refers to inside of the tabernacle. So this is a story of zeal, of execution in the name of God, of cementing privilege. And you will see that it is also the first legal fight for women's equal rights. I am woman. Hear me roar. In numbers too big to ignore. And I know too much to go back and pretend. 'Cause I've heard it all before. I've been down there on the floor. No one's ever gonna keep me down again. Oh yes, I am wise, but it's wisdom born of pain. Oh yes, I paid the price, but look how much I gain. If I have to, can't do anything. I am strong. I am invincible. I'm woman. Now you're going to read this and say, so what happened? Well, things change. Sometimes it takes a long time to recognize the change and perhaps realize that the change was right. So this reading, the second last in Numbers, seems to be centered around this guy Pinchas, but he's got nothing more to do with it. He was a hero. His incredible action stopped the plague that suddenly started. What a great man. And even though we were already told at least twice that the priesthood was always to be via the line of Aaron and his sons, that same reward is given for the great act of killing this pair. Numbers 25:13. And it shall be his and his seeds after him, a covenant of eternal priesthood, because he was jealous for his God and he made atonement for the children of Israel. He didn't get anything that hadn't been promised before. Commentators have been troubled by Pinchas' zeal in killing these two people. But look beyond the simple act of killing, not so simple, and look at the nature of the crime, because it's really about the crime and how it's to be treated. You see, the point is that this is a ritual crime. That's a different kind of a crime. The crime is not that an Israelite and a Midianite have sexual relations. It's that they have violated the tabernacle. As non-Levites, they're not even permitted to enter it, let alone have sexual relations, whether it's for procreation, pleasure, or fertility rate. And note, there's no trial. There's no witnesses. Much occurs as the book winds down. And we're moving into this ritual business. We get another listing of all the holidays and their observances and their rituals. And note, there's no history added. There's no purpose. There's no reminder of why each holy day is even observed. The ethics and the morals take a complete backseat to ritual. Now, perhaps that's why to this day, so many more people are concerned with the mechanics of observation over the meaning and reason for observation. I go the other way. I want you to understand why. Develop an appreciation, and maybe that will entice you to put a little more spirituality in your life, instead of getting you to focus on observing the rules and hoping if you do it enough it becomes part of who you are, even though you may never know why, but you'll know how. I don't think it's the way to go. And we see the true changing of the guard this week as Moses lays hands on Joshua and passes the mantle of leadership on. Religious control was determined by birth, political by choice. And yet it is this process, the smicha, that's used in the ordination of rabbis to this day. A word meaning leaning of the hands. What Moses did to Joshua, what was done to me. But Moses was the political leader. Aaron was the religious leader. So this is about politics. Now, Numbers opened with a census, hence its name. It closes with one too. Numbers 26:51. These are the counts of the children of Israel, 601,730. Now, interestingly, this is almost the same amount as was in the first census 40 years earlier. And some of those mentioned play a prominent role. There's purpose here. Don't forget, everybody, in that first sentence died except for Joshua and Caleb. Numbers 26:52. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, the land shall be distributed to these as a legacy with the number of names. Okay, I get it. This list was so we would understand the distribution of a land system. It was to these people standing here now on the verge of entering the promised land, that the land across the river was to be distributed. And to these descendants would the return of the law of Jubilee belong. This census means everything for the rest of the time. But there will be a wrinkle, and it surrounds women and their rights. Has anyone fought harder for recognition? Woman is the slave, a slave. Yes, she is. Think about it. Woman is the slave. slaves. Think about it. Do something about it. We make her paint her face and dance. If she won't be a slave, we say she don't love us. If she's real, we say she's trying to be a man. While putting her down, we pretend she's above us. Now there's a song you probably will never even hear anymore. It's probably not considered playable, even if it was by an ex-Beatle. And of all those families mentioned, none would ultimately have greater impact, more so than you see in Numbers 27:1. You read about them once, never again. And the daughters of Zelophehad, son of Hefer, son of Gilead, son of Machir, son of Manasseh, of the families of Manasseh, son of Joseph, came forward. Yeah, that's a pretty good pedigree. They stood in front of Moses and in front of Eleazar the priest and in front of the chieftains and all the congregation at the entrance of the tent of the meeting, saying, "Our father died in the wilderness. He wasn't among the congregation who were gathered against the Lord, in Korah's congregation. Rather, he died through his own sin. He had no sons. Why should our father's name be subtracted from among his family because he didn't have a son? Give us a possession among our father's brothers." Wow. Women want their father's land. They want to inherit like they're regular people. Zelophehad's daughters now protest that the property that would have gone to their father will go to his brothers instead, and the family holding in his name will be lost. Moses makes their case to God, who says to Moses, "Zelophehad's daughters speak right. You shall give them a possession for a legacy among their father's brothers, and you shall pass their father's legacy to them. You shall speak to the children of Israel, saying, a man who will die and not have a son, you shall pass his legacy to his daughter." Friends, this is the first victory in the battle for women's rights. It has been waged on the shores of the Jordan River 3,500 years ago. What happened? Yes, my friends, the world is sacred. So is everything in it. Express your gratitude. Light a candle, make a wish, celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom. Be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light, all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone. An end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we're a community. We learn together, we celebrate each other, we love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally. Let's all send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. And please do learn to forgive and learn to love, including yourself. Open your hearts, honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have. Enjoy the journey. We take the twists and turns and the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our effort to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please do love. God bless you all. Have a fantastic week. A week of love and light, a week of peace, a week of miracles. Examine your intentions. Use them to imprint your will on the universe, because they're waiting for you. We set in motion all that happens in our lives. It's our intention, our kavana, our cause, our effect. Everything's linked. As I've said, you always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what's good and bad. So acknowledge what you've done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged. Ask forgiveness. Do so with sincerity, accountability, and vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you as you learn to be forgiving and compassionate, because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people in the world as they are? Can you accept life as it is without trying to control it? Because if you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land. It is your home. Keep on dreaming, keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching, keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear, follow love. It's always in front of you. And remember to have faith. It's an unwavering adherence to principle. Just as I have faith in the principle of love in all of you, act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none. Cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace in this year, and may you nurture kindness and love everywhere. Work to be present in the body. Expand your heart, quiet your mind, because the deepest source of real power lies in your consciousness, your ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. Get the most of your time in this life. continue to touch and transform lives around you. You're never alone. You're forever blessed, and you have the ability to bring blessings to everybody you meet. Health, love, and renewal to everybody you come across. We're all energy. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. Friends, your words are your power to transform, to love, to bless. So be generous. Bless others. Bless yourself. Love with the heart, because we're all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear. Forgiveness, not anger. And be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you, whether you know it or not. Continue to explore faith and belief in what they mean just to you. And never accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel others have felt, whatever you've experienced, others have too. We share together, we learn together, and we help each other, because we're each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives, so find them. Tell them what they mean. And remember, you're never alone on your journey to your promised land. Keep forgiving those you need to forgive. Keep asking forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. And remember to think before you speak, because your words can empower and free you, but they can imprison you too. And always keep your ears open and listen to the voice of God as he, she, it talks to you. Talks to you now, just like talked to you long ago on the mountain. Further series of inheritance rites takes place later. But what's important in this small wilderness voice speaking up for women everywhere? Some things don't last, but they reverberate throughout time. This did not last, and the battle has raged into the 21st century. It is part and parcel of the view and the treatment of women. I learned the truth at 17 that love was meant for beauty queens and high school girls with clear-skin smiles and married young, and then retired to Valentine's. I never knew the Friday night charades you were spent more beautiful at 17. I learned the truth. Every truth is different. Thank you for joining me, my friends. Have a great week. Please keep exercising forgiveness. Be thankful, be gracious, be kind, be loving. Believe in yourself and love. Continue to spread a little goodwill to the world. And never forget, you are the miracle in someone else's life. Shabbat shalom and blessings to you all. Take care, and we'll see you next week. Thanks.